As you can see, I dressed up for you this video. Hope you like it. Hope you like my snazzy hat I got on here. See if I can pull it down a little bit there, and there we go. Perfect. How do I look? Do I look good? Don't answer that. Anyway, after watching my last video, I decided I needed to clarify a few things. I knew early on that I wanted to make this a simple video series to follow. It frustrates me to no end to watch so-called tutorials for beginners that are hard to follow. If it's for a beginner, it should be easy to follow, and that's what I'm trying to do here. After I watched the last video, I realized a few things might be confusing, so I decided to clarify some things here. The first thing you need to do to get started is quite simple. You need to buy a stock. For our purposes, there will be two different types of buy orders that we will be using, the limit order and the market order. And I can't accentuate too much. Don't be afraid to buy a stock. It's not that big a deal. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money. Just start small and buy yourself a stock so you can get started and get a feel for how it works. Now, when buying, we will usually be placing what is called a market order. It's the simplest type of buy order, because usually when you're making a buy, you know you want to buy, so you just want to buy at the next opportunity. So what you're doing is you're telling the app, hey, buy this stock, whatever the price is, when the order goes through, buy it. And the orders go through almost immediately, so the difference between the price that you're looking at and the price that you pay may only be a few cents, and it can also go down too, so it's not that big a deal. This is the type of purchase that you want to make when you're absolutely positive. You just want to buy, and you're not worried about the price going up a few cents before the order executes. The other type of buy order that we will be using, not as often, but we will be using it, is called a limit order. When making a limit buy, you specify the maximum amount that you're willing to pay for the stock per share. So in the above example, say you put in a limit order for $11 per share. By the time you get the order placed, the stock has risen to $11.03. At that point, the trade will not execute because your limit is $11 and the price is too high. However, prices fluctuate, and the price could easily hit $11 again before going back up. So if at any point the price gets back down to $11, then the order will execute. The risk here, of course, is that the price may never fall back down to $11, and thus your order will never execute. This is why we will normally be making market orders, to ensure that we get into the stock when we wish to. You don't want to miss out buying a stock just because you're trying to save a few pennies. Now, selling is a little different. There are three different types of orders that we might use when selling: the market sell, the limit sell, and the stop loss. In the case of selling a market order, we will not be doing this very often. This is only used when we know we want to get out of the stock immediately at whatever price. And the goal is to not be in that position very often, so hopefully we won't be doing this very often. The other two sell orders are what we're generally going to be using, and those are the limit sell and the stop loss. A limit sell tells the broker to execute a sell when the price reaches a certain level. This is what we're normally going to be doing for the most part, at least in a perfect world. For example, the stock may be $11. For example, the current price of the stock may be $11, and you put in a limit sell for $11.50. This way, you don't have to constantly be watching the price of the stock to get the price that you want. The software will do it automatically for you. So the order will not execute until and unless the stock reaches $11.50. Now, on the flip side, the opposite is true of a stop loss order. In this case, you put in an amount below the current market price, and if it falls to that level, you sell in order to limit your losses. In the above example, you might put in a stop loss order at $10.50. Then the stock will not sell unless it falls to that level. I want to note a couple of things. First of all is that I've been using two different terms for the same sell, and I just wanted to clarify that. A limit sell and a profit taker are exactly the same thing. A limit sell, you're telling it that you want to sell at a certain price, but you need a certain price to be attained. And and that's exactly what your profit taker sell is. So profit taker and limit sells are the same thing. So you're either going to take profits or stop losses. Note that it will be one or the other. Obviously, a stock can be up or down from the previous price level, but not both at the same time. That should be pretty obvious. As discussed before, putting in both of these orders at the same time with one canceling the other would be great, but it's called a bracket order, and Robinhood software cannot accommodate a bracket order yet, at least not yet. Therefore, you can only do one at a time. If you can't watch it intently, I would suggest to prioritize having a stop loss order in place over having a profit taker or a limit order, because limiting your exposure to losses is probably more important than taking profits. Even if you have a casual eye on your current stock in play, you can make pretty certain that you have the right order in at the right time. Say, for example, you bought a stock at $10. Your profit taker number is $10.30, and your stop loss number is $9.80. So you put in a buy order as I recommended. So you put in the buy order, and as I recommended, you dutifully put in the stop loss order of $9.80 immediately at the same time. However, as the hours or minutes go by and your trade progresses, you notice your stock going up. Yay! And you're getting close to your profit taker number. Then you will want to cancel the stop loss order you had in place, which, by the way, is very easy to do, and replace it with a profit taker or a limit order. That way you'll have the proper order in place, and the stock will immediately sell for you at $10.30 like you specified. A word of caution, however, this can take a few minutes. This is very important. I only found this out through my own experience. The software can take a few minutes to catch up after you've canceled one order before you can make another order. In other words, if you've sold, say, 28 shares, or if you have 28 shares in play and you cancel out a stop loss order, the software does not recognize that you have those 28 shares available to sell again for a few minutes after you've canceled the order. So make sure you give yourself enough time. Lastly, for those of you that are a little confused by the math, I felt I should clarify the math part of it a little bit more explicitly. Your profit taker number is 3% higher than what you paid for the stock, and your stop loss number is 2% lower than what you paid for the stock. Note that using this methodology, you will still make money even if you're only right half of the time, because your gains will be larger than your losses, 3% versus 2%. More specifically, multiply the purchase price by 1.03 to ascertain your profit taker limit number, and multiply your stock's purchase price by 0.98 to ascertain your stop loss number. So from the above example, as you can see, $10 times 1.03 is $10.30, and $10 times 0.98 equals $9.80. So this is your profit taker number right here, and this is your stop loss number right here. And I truly hope that this clears things up if you were confused. If not, I'm here to help. Please feel free to write any questions you might have in the comments section, and I will be sure to get to them. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.